Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss.
In today's video, I want to talk about this situation that happened between Nicole Murphy, Antoine Fuqua, and also Lela Rochon. And there were some things that really bothered me when I was reading the blogs and then I was reading the comments, and a lot of people were defending Antoine due to Lela Rochon's weight gain. And I couldn't help but notice, based off of my research that I gathered, a lot of times us women, we are blamed for the physical effects of being in a toxic relationship or marriage. And sometimes these relationships can be mother-daughter, it could be father-daughter. These relationships definitely have a toll and they do have an effect on your physical being. And I believe that is what we're seeing with Lela, and it's really unfortunate. A lot of people are calling her all type of fat this. They're really fat shaming this woman over her weight gain, not really understanding why this may have happened to her over the years. And I just really want to break that down and talk about that today, because this is something that us women and just people as a whole, we could all learn from. Because sometimes when we find ourselves in cycles, relationship cycles that turn out to be toxic for whatever reason, we really don't pay attention to the signs, or we really don't pay attention to how we're changing, because that change, it happens rapidly, but we are kind of coherent, not really noticing that it's happening because we're within the cycle, we're living the cycle. And sometimes we don't always know how to identify that we're in a toxic cycle, a toxic relationship. And I think it's pretty shallow that people are just looking at this woman and judging this woman and not really understanding what she has been through over the years when it comes to her husband. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on him and her relationship, and also how Nicole Murphy fits into this whole drama situation. Lela and Antoine were engaged in 1998. They married in 1999. He had a son from a previous relationship, and based off of my research, I don't believe it was from a marriage. It was just a relationship. And then later down the line, they ended up having 2 kids together. They had their daughter in 2002 and their son in 2004. And later down the line, it was brought to the courts in 2010 that he was being summoned to pay child support. And that's when I believe their marriage became really rocky, because I believe Lela found out about his first love child. And after that, you could really see a decrease or decline within her appearance. It just seems like she was more stressed and unhappy. Outside of his personal life, Antoine Fuqua is a real success. He began his career directing music videos for popular artists such as Toni Braxton, Stevie Wonder, and Prince. Also, he got into filmmaking and he won an Academy Award for Training Day. Lela Rochon is a Haitian American actress best known for her breakthrough role as Robin Stokes in the 1995 romantic drama film Waiting to Excel. She also made guest appearances in 90s sitcoms The Cosby Show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper. She played alongside Eddie Murphy in the successful 1992 romantic comedy Boomerang. Now, when it comes to Nicole Murphy, she's known for messing with people's husband. It's nothing new. She is known for messing with people's husbands. She is just known for that in these streets. But rumor has it, the blogs are stating that these pictures were taken intentionally, and these pictures were taken outside of Italy on a little island. I'm not sure what island exactly. I didn't go look it up, but it's on a little island outside of Italy. Now, the rumor is Lela most likely hired a private investigator, right, to have her husband followed all the way across the country to get these photos, because rumor has it that he had planned to leave her for Nicole Murphy. So I think Lela, what she did was, once she got these photos or got her hands on these photos, she reached out to Hollywood Unlocked and she sold them to them to expose her husband for cheating. Now, this can help her in divorce court. This can help her when trying to get half of what he owns. So, I mean, it was just a very smart move on her part. I think she's just fed up. I think she's just at a point where she's just had enough. And it really sucks that she wasted her good years, her good youthful years on a man that just did not respect her. And it's really, really sad. Now, I'm going to break down what I was talking about earlier when I was referring to toxic relationship cycles and how it has an effect on your physical being. So I'm going to bring up some photos, and I just want you guys to take a look and see what I'm talking about when I say things like this. Like, sometimes we don't always know when, or we don't always realize it when we're in a toxic relationship, and how it has a physical effect on our well-being. So this is my theory when it comes to 2010. This is the beginning, I believe, of her failing marriage that she knew of, because I think her husband has always stepped out on her. I think she didn't really know about it until the whole child support situation, which happened in 2010. But clearly you see a huge change from 2010 and 2012. She's picked up a little more weight, and it looks like it's stress, because it looks like she's retaining a lot of water, which a lot of people are not really understanding. I'm not going to say majority of it is water, but it just looks like almost that you could take a pin and pop her with it. And sometimes when you retain water, it's caused by stress. So that's another thing that I couldn't help but notice when looking at the comparison photos. Clearly she was healthy, she was happy in 2010 and 2012. You can see a huge difference. And then in 2016, it just escalates and it gets even worse, most likely because she's not acknowledging that what she's going through within her marriage is causing her extra stress. And to be honest, we see this a lot in Black women. Why is that? We see this a lot in Black women. I feel like it's because we're told to stay in these toxic cycles. I like to call them toxic cycles because you find yourself saying, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And then somehow you find yourself still in that cycle. And it's almost like you have to go through 3 elements to come out of it. So if you missed out on coming out of it, then you have to wait for that 3rd cycle or that 3rd element to come to a close. So it's like, why is that when it comes to Black women, we find ourselves in these situations? Another thing that I did not like was when I was reading comments, so many people blamed her for her husband cheating, not really understanding that she gained weight because of the actions of her husband, because he was stressing her out, because he had multiple kids outside of their marriage. They have been together for 20 years. He had 2 children while they were together for 20 years. And it's alleged that he has been cheating on her their entire marriage. So she has been going through a lot. I want to know why she stayed, because a lot of women, you have 1 love child and they out, but to have 2, I just want to know why she stayed. Does she know about the other love child? I wonder. But I know for a fact she has to know about the first one from 2010, because it was court ordered for him to pay child support. But as Black women, I just don't understand why we find ourselves in these situations where we feel that we have to stay. Why not move on and find healing and find happiness, not only within ourselves, but just with life? You know, like, we are missing out on living just because we are afraid to leave a toxic cycle. And I know we are taught to stay, and I know we are taught to endure and be the strong woman, be the strong Black woman. But it's like, why do we do this to ourselves to where it's compromising our health? And it's not showing a good image to our children. It's not showing a good image to our youth that we stay in these relationships with these men, especially when we're not being respected. And it really just comes down to respect. Her husband has absolutely zero respect for her. Absolutely zero respect. And a lot of times I think it just comes down to us women acknowledging and knowing our self-worth. Because she was she's still beautiful, but she was extremely beautiful in 2010. She could have left him. She could have left him and moved on. She was still healthy. She still had her youth. She could have moved on and married someone else and could have been happy. But I don't understand why she stayed. Why stay? And I can't stress this enough. When it comes to your youth as a woman, you have to take pride in that, because you understand that you're not always going to have your youth, that you are going to eventually age. And things change with age. Your body changes with age. So if you find yourself in a relationship that's in a toxic cycle, take yourself out of that, remove yourself out of that, and move on and go find happiness within yourself, and then go be happy with someone else. Go be happy with a different man. There's plenty of them out there. Maybe date outside of your race. Whatever you have to do to be happy with someone, go do that. But you have to find happiness within yourself. You can't go to the next guy thinking that this guy is going to give you happiness. You have to find it within yourself first, and then move on and be happy with whoever that is. Now, this is her in 2018, I believe. And when I saw this photo, I saw myself. I saw the 2014 Kiana, and I cried, because I'm like, I've been here. I've been this woman. I know what this is like. No, I've never been married, but I've been in a toxic cycle with family. I've been in a toxic cycle with friends. And it led me to be in a position of just really being unhappy with how I looked, myself, my relationships with the family members and the friends that I had in my life that were causing me to feel this way about myself. I was emotionally eating. And if you said one little thing to me and I took offense to it, I'm flying off the mouth. Everyone was pissing me off. And I just had a lot of built up anger. And I would revert back to food to cure it. And it was so unhealthy. I'm not saying that that's what she's doing, but I'm just going based off of my own experience. Like, I really hope she finds the courage to leave, because she deserves so much more than this. And a lot of times I see women being mistreated in their relationships or marriage, and they stay, but they never deal with those inner issues. And then they always look at themselves like, well, what's wrong with me? Why can't I lose weight? Why am I so unhappy? And it's because they refuse to acknowledge that the relationship or marriage that they're in just is not good for them. And as much as you want it to work out, some things are just not meant to work out. Some things are meant for you to leave so you can heal, so that you can find happiness. And I really hope that she does that for at least her children. You know, like, her children deserve to see her being in a happy, loving, I don't even want to say relationship, but just space in life, you know, like a space in life where she's happy, she's healthy, and she has a smile on her face, you know. And when I saw these pictures, I saw myself, and it really, really broke my heart to see her like this. That's all that I have for this video, you guys. Comment down below. I would love your opinion on this situation. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I upload, and I'll catch you in my next one.